And we're back with our video sit-downs with the candidates. I'm Diedrich Allen. Off camera, sitting on camera, is Terri Jeffreys. Terri is an independent running for Mason County Commissioner District 3. Terri, tell us about Terri.
Hello, Diedrich. I'm running for Mason County Commissioner because I believe there's a bright future ahead for this county. I believe that we need to make sure that we're working together to create the future that we want and we deserve. And that means coming together, your ports, your city, the county, our community organizations, the transit organizations, our businesses. We can come together and plan the future we all want. And you need somebody that's got the tenacity and the hard-working ethic and the intelligence and the brains and the drill down to the details to make and come up with solutions and be able to identify the problems together. I have worked, I know Mason County, I know the business community, and I know the industry because I was the director of the Shelton Mason County Chamber of Commerce. I worked for 10 years in local government advocacy for the Washington Association of Realtors, representing realtor interests all over the Olympic Peninsula. And I also worked in tax and fiscal policy at the state level for the Association of Realtors. So I know how local government can affect the economy. I know how local government can affect a community's growth and how to encourage that growth in a positive manner. I have been a resident of Mason County for 20 years. My husband and I and my 2 children, who are now grown, live here. I'm a grandma. I am very active in various volunteer organizations, Anna Space Center for Music. I'm the treasurer for my church board, and I've been involved in advisory committees. I was a planning advisory committee member for Mason County. I was on the watershed planning committees for watershed 14 and 16, and I've served on the lodging tax advisory committees. So I know how government's run, I know how local government is funded, and I know this county. I feel like I have all of the qualities that's necessary for positive leadership.
So what is the biggest issue or problem facing Mason County, and how do you plan to deal with it?
Well, the biggest problem facing this county is the same problem that's facing the rest of the world, our economy. Our recession has gone on longer than I think people anticipated it. Now, I want to be very clear. The local government is not the economic engine and shouldn't be the job creator. Local government's job is to create the stage for positive growth and commercial growth and business growth. The entrepreneurs who have dreams, big and small, from the fellow at the tattoo parlor to the sawmill, to the builder, those are the ones that are investing their time and their dreams and their money into this community. And I think the county's role is to invest in the community in places where they shouldn't have to, in our public infrastructure, roads, water, sewer, sidewalks. If we set the stage, create the framework for building economic growth and businesses, then they will come in. People invest in communities that invest in themselves. Now, these are big projects and they're expensive projects, which means we have to work and collaborate together, link together strategic projects in the areas that we want our commercial growth, our urban growth areas, Belfair, Allen, Shelton. We can be working in those areas, targeting our infrastructure funds there. I believe that we should use the monies that are growth-related revenues, real estate excise tax, sales tax on construction, the piece of the property tax that's from new construction. These are one-time revenues that I believe need to be targeted to one-time projects as opposed to ongoing projects. So I'd be working on collaborative planning for projects that will promote economic development and business growth.
Which kind of leads me into my next question, which is how do you propose to increase tax revenue to support county services?
Well, we have way too much retail sales tax leakage. We are sending our sales dollars to Olympia, to Thurston County, and to Kitsap County. And it's because you can't get it here a lot of times. And people want variety, and people want to be able to make choices. So we need to promote retail development. I believe that we have spent a lot of effort and time on economic development efforts that were manufacturing industries and what we term as family wage jobs. There are not a lot of businesses that are relocating. I've heard plenty of statistics saying, you know, for every 6 economic development organizations out trying to recruit a company, there's one company wanting to relocate. So we still need to continue trying to promote and to bring in manufacturing and large family wage type businesses. But we also need to, I think, concentrate our efforts on the small businesses and the retail development, because that's also an important part of our tax base, and it's an important part of building up a community and the attractiveness of a community for those larger companies. So I think that we need to, this is a bit controversial, but I think that maybe we should task our EDC, our Economic Development Council, to do some market research and find the gaps in our retail products that are available here and businesses, and do some proactive recruiting. Hall Equities has done their research and found that there was a gap here, and there's a necessity for some more retail development. And I think that the county has a role in supporting that project in the Shelton Hills area. That's a perfect example of a need that needed to be met, and somebody went out and found it. Now we can do that proactively as a county as well.
Next question. Still on the same subject, I guess. Do you have a specific plan to attract business and industry to Mason County, and can you summarize it for us?
Okay, so I would like to, again, identify the gaps through a market analysis. That's pretty complicated work, and it's kind of expensive work, but I think that with enough brain power of our EDC could help us with this, to count the rooftops, find out what type of businesses can be supported given our population, and go out and recruit them. It means going to those corporate headquarters and saying, have you thought about locating in Shelton, Mason County? We have some property available. And also, we need to look at our zoning and our codes to make sure it's an easy thing to do, to put in new development here. We spent a lot of years developing zoning codes that were pretty prescriptive, and that was a first shot at it. It's time to take a look at them again and maybe be more performance-based as opposed to specific type of industries and specific type of development going into certain areas, protecting the residential areas, obviously. And that's pretty. I hope that's specific enough, and I have a lot of ideas around that. We could do shared infrastructure or transportation planning through what's called the Transportation Benefit District, where you would combine the planning and the funding investment with city, county, and state road funds and transportation funds. And I think we need to concentrate on strategic infrastructure investment in our urban growth areas, and just plan and be ready for the growth that's going to happen. We are situated between two major employment centers, and so the growth is going to come here when our economy comes back, and we need to be ready for it. We need to be proactive about it, and we need to be inviting about it, and partner with those people that want to invest in this community.
What is Mason County's single biggest need?
Jobs, jobs, jobs. Again, what can the county do on that? I want to be very clear that we are not the job creators. We don't want to create more county jobs. Public safety, I think, is very high on people's minds. From what I understand, to get to a level of service that the county sheriff would want, we would need $2.4 million more. That's a pretty significant sum of money, and we've got to find it somewhere. If we want 12 more deputies and all the things that it takes to support a deputy. So what that might mean might be going out to the voters. I'm not saying I want to raise taxes, but our City of Shelton voters voted to increase their public safety funding through a sales tax increase. I think any kind of funding increase, if it was a tax increase, needs to be a ballot initiative. And I'd just be curious to see what our community in the county says about would we be willing to pay more for public safety, or do we have to get back to that budget and scrub it, get down to a priority-based budget, performance-based budget, and kind of decide what is county government priorities, what's number 1, 2, and 3, and fund them at the levels that they need to be funded to be effective.
Last question for you, Terri. What is your vision for Mason County?
My vision is the same vision as everybody's. A strong, healthy community that's safe, with exciting shopping and dining and entertainment options, a fun place to go to, a great place to live that supports. All that means we're coming together, and we're creating that vision together, and we are prioritizing what's it going to take to get there, and we're measuring how well did we perform. Did we get our return on investment on that road? Did we get the type of development we wanted in that community center? So it's basically just the same vision as everybody else has for this county. I do want to also honor our natural resource industries because they are just fabulous. We have the shellfish industry cleans our water, and the timber industry cleans our air. They need to be supported in the best way possible. Clean water for our shellfish, and value-added forest product development for our forestry. So that's my vision, and I think I share it with the rest of the county.
All right. Terri Jeffreys, running for Mason County Commissioner, District 3 as an independent. Thanks for stopping in.
Thank you, Deidre.
We'll have our next candidate in about 15 minutes or so.